The New York Knicks must trade Julius Randle this summer, at all costs, because you just got to get rid of what's going on. Julius is really regressing. I think he would be best suited in another situation. I would hate for his tenure in New York to just go up in smoke, and if the Knicks don't win next season, Julius could get ran out the building if he hasn't been ran out already. Julius obviously, it all started wonderful for Julius. He came in there after the Fizdale situation. They hired Tibbs. He played well, and the man damn near was in MVP conversations. Most improved player. The man was balling. The man was completely unstoppable. I don't think people remember when Julius was beasting, with New York. And then before you know it, you get to Atlanta, the playoffs, no injuries. The man just completely lost how to play the game of basketball. It was completely disgusting what we witnessed. I don't think we've ever seen like a bigger epic collapse that we've seen. It was just a total collapse, by Julius Randle. And I think some of those remnants, pardon me, is lingering, into last season and then this season. And you got a young team here, man. And you don't need this plague that's happening to continue to just run rampant, over the organization and over some of these younger players that you have on this roster. When Julius was annihilating, the man had averaged 24 points per game. He shot 41% from the field. He was 20-10. He regressed last season. He only averaged 20 points. He shot 41%. He was down, and he only averaged 9 rebounds. He shot 30% from the three. He's a horrible three-point shooter, but he always is chucking up threes. So Julius, he's a lefty. He's obviously gets crucified for not really using his right. Despite him coming out saying he was going to overly use his right last season, but we didn't see that. And we have a guy in RJ who is left-hand dominant as well. So, I mean, it's very problematic. You got to get Julius out of here because we could have another season that we had before. Sometimes subtraction is addition, so it is what it is. The Knicks, they finished 37-45. Last season they were 11th seed, coming off when they were the 4th seed, hosting home court advantage the season before. So something clearly has to be done in New York. Changes must be made. You got a young guy in Obi Toppin, who I think, whether maybe he's moved, I don't know, but he's a New York product. A 7'2" wingspan. He averaged 9 points in his second season. I think this guy is going to be that guy, who replaces Julius Randle, and you don't need Julius to continue to rub off some of that bad luck, that got, he looked like Julius got shooken up after that Hawks series, and he has never truly recovered mentally. I feel like something has happened with Julius mentally, which is resorting into him, not getting it done on the floor. Now, I got confidence. I want to believe that he could turn it around. Just as a Knicks fan, he is currently a Knick, but it's time, man. It's time to move on from this situation with Julius Randle. I want to get more into the guys in the RJ Barretts. I think that's the players that we need to really focus more on. You just signed Jalen Brunson. I think it's time to move in another direction, than what the Knicks are accustomed to doing, just seeming like they're just going to go to Julius, go to Julius, go to Julius. I think that offense is very old now. It's time to shake it up and trade Julius. I've heard packages for Russell Westbrook. I don't know what they would do. I heard that if they were to get Donovan Mitchell, they would trade Julius to the Los Angeles Lakers for Russell Westbrook. I don't know how would we like that? Nonetheless, you would have an asset in Russell Westbrook that you could move, you could use. I mean, so it could all work itself out, But Julius Randle, I think he would be good if he went back to Los Angeles, where he was not the primary, scorer. Julius has proven that he's not the number one guy. He probably never will be the number one guy. That's just not his makeup. Julius Randle is best suited as a number 3 option. I can't even say he's a number 2. He got completely exposed. It's almost got me back to the NFL. Like, I know this was a more heightened situation, but when the Seattle Seahawks didn't give the ball to beast mode, and they lost that playoff. They lost that Super Bowl, and then they seemed to never really mentally recover. I think Julius, he was on top of the world in New York City. He had everything at his fingertips. Hot 97. Broadway. Everything. He was really becoming the face of New York, if he wanted it. But he proved that he can't be that. He doesn't have that makeup. He just don't have that stature. The status of New York City playing there really welted on him, man. And it's just resorted in a collapse. And Julius, you heard him getting into issues with Knicks fans. Because Knicks fans, they're going to voice their opinion. And not like other cities. They will make it very uncomfortable for you to walk the streets. So it's tough. These guys can't come out and play like horse shit and then be up at the steakhouse, 2 hours later. It just doesn't work like that in New York City. You're going to have to get that delivered to the crib, because you can't show your face and you playing like shit. And Julius has definitely, just been underachieving, and he didn't build on what happened. We thought that after that postseason where he flamed out that, okay, he could shake that off. But it seemed to be he got shooken up himself. So I think it's time, man. But yeah, I want to know the packages that you will move Julius for. Do y'all agree that it's time to move on from Julius? Just to open up a different makeup for this Knicks team. They've been Julius heavy the past couple of years. I think we got some young players that need just to be at the forefront. I think we've been developing these guys for a while. You got Grimes, you got Obi, you got RJ. Like, you just made some acquisitions. I say you really build on that. You push that. You move on from Julius because we already know what that looks like. We know what's going to happen. It's no suspense when it comes to Julius Randle, and let's just hope for the best, man, because, something got to be done. It's time. New York deserves better. The city deserves it. The fans, the organization. New York will be back to prominence again one day. We just got to make the right moves. I think Donovan Mitchell is there for the taking. You get him, that's a foundational building block, and you build from there. So the Knicks clearly have an outlook on what they want to do. This is going to be an important season. The off season is still going on, and moves got to be made. So the Knicks are clearly on the clock. Julius Randle must go, and it's just better for him too. It's not just to benefit the New York Knicks, it's to benefit him. It's Flight Sports TV.